So you just logged into your Thinkific site for the first time and you have no idea where anything is. There's nothing wrong with you. Every tutorial out there drops you into step 12 and expects you to already know the map. So in this free series, 13 episodes, we're building a Thinkific site from scratch in the order you need to build it. This series is both for beginners who are creating their Thinkific site from scratch, as well as those who already have a site but want to ensure it's set up properly. If we haven't met before, my name is Kim, better known as Brainy Girl, and I'm one of Thinkific's top experts since 2015. I have literally built hundreds of Thinkific sites. And so in this first episode, we're going to get you familiar with your Thinkific site, where to find everything. And in the subsequent episodes, we'll be diving into the specific parts of the setup, from setting up the backend properly to setting up and managing your affiliate program. My suggestion is that you watch these episodes in order because it's easy to miss a part of the setup and then you'll end up troubleshooting down the road. Throughout these episodes, I'll be mentioning additional resources you can use, and you can access any and all of those in my community. That link to join us will be below. Let's dive into episode 1. So when you first get into your Thinkific site, you're going to find yourself here. This is basically just your home navigation. On the left-hand side is where we are going to navigate through different sections. Now, we are going to go quite quickly in this particular video because we're not doing deep dives. We're going to deep dive in episode 2 through 13. What I really want you to understand is where you can find different things in your Thinkific site so you're not lost when you log in. So we're going to start over here in products on the left-hand side, and within that, you're going to see some subsections. The first one is courses. This is where you're going to set up your courses, edit your product pages, add your curriculum, change your permissions, view learner activity, and things like that. Next section is communities. So again, this is where you set up your communities, do your editing, do your moderating of your communities. All happens within this section here. Next is digital downloads. So think of apps or files or spreadsheets or ebooks, things that you want to sell as accoutrements to your courses. This is where you can do that with digital downloads. Coaching and webinars, same thing. You could sell or have free coaching and webinars that you can do right through your Thinkific site. Next is memberships. Memberships is very similar to bundles in that generally it's a group of courses, maybe with a community, maybe subscription or one-time payment. If it's a subscription, it's really a membership. And so that's what you're going to find here. Again, that's very similar to bundles, which we'll look at in one of the episodes. Categories is where we can add courses to different categories, therefore making them, we might want to have a category page with certain courses that are in a certain category on that page. It's just a way of sort of segmenting your courses. That might be by levels, it might be by topics, any of those things. All right, on the left-hand side under that is Teaching Assistant. Now for this, we're actually going to go over to my live site. So this is what Thinkific calls Thinker. Think of Thinker as your AI teaching assistant / chatbot that lives sort of in your Thinkific ecosystem. So it could answer questions from students, it could help them navigate, etc. Next is Video Library. Now, Video Library is no longer Video Library. It is actually called Asset Library now. It has not rolled out to everyone. I haven't got it yet. However, your asset library is where all of your videos are going to be. Any assets within your courses like downloads, PDFs, files, things like that. So that's your asset library there. That's the last item in products. Now, if we go over to channels, what you're going to see here is website and landing pages. This is a little confusing, but they're basically the same thing. A landing page is just a page on a website that has a call to action. That's all a landing page is. A home page is a landing page. Your about page is a landing page. Your course sales pages are landing pages. They're all landing pages. So the challenge here, the confusion can be between these website and landing pages. So landing pages in the Thinkific ecosystem, they call them these landing pages. And all that means is that they are AI-powered landing pages. That's what you're looking at here. They are not what I suggest that you use for your landing pages. I think you can create higher converting landing pages and landing pages that are better designed using the classic builder. We are going to go into this in the episodes as well. And for that, you would use websites. So this is your classic built landing pages. They're both landing pages. Just what Thinkific calls landing pages are AI powered, and website, the differentiation to that is that these are ones that you would design yourself. Next is theme library. So when you start with Thinkific, you add one of their themes, and it basically is just like the look and feel of your Thinkific site. Then you stack branding on that, but at this point, this is just where you choose your theme and keep your theme updated. Under that is preview, and again, when you click it, it just takes you over to the homepage of your Thinkific site. Under that is Thinkific's mobile app. I don't necessarily suggest using it. However, it is an option if you want your own branded mobile app for your Thinkific site. And next is widget. These are just really, honestly, quite ugly looking little widgets that you can put on like a primary website to lead them to your Thinkific site. But again, there's better ways to do that are much, much nicer and much higher converting. So widget is not something we will be covering in these episodes. Under marketing, you've got leads, funnels, affiliates, and email automation. The only one we will be covering in these episodes is affiliates. In episode 13, I'll show you how to set up your own affiliate program, how to manage it, how to bring in affiliates, how to keep those sales coming in. Leads, funnels, and email automation. I do all of that externally, not within the Thinkific ecosystem. I will be going into that, but just something to know is I actually don't suggest using these, again, because of the control that you can't have over them in Thinkific itself. All right, so under sales, we've got bundles. So remember I mentioned bundles and memberships are kind of similar. A bundle is just a group of courses. That's all it is. It's just you create 3 courses, you put them in a bundle, and that bundle you can sell as one product as opposed to them buying the individual courses. All right, under order bumps, an order bump is when you can add a product to the checkout, usually at a discounted price, to increase the average order value. So maybe you're selling course A, but then you do course B as an order bump to increase the value of that sale. Okay, then we go down to coupons. So coupons are just your discount codes, your coupon codes to offer to people to get in your courses or your bundles or whatever for a discounted rate. Under orders, now I'm going to flip over to my active Thinkific site for a minute for this. And the reason for that is that you won't see that on my test site because I don't have payments set up yet, because I want to be able to show you how to do that. So you've got transactions and orders. So this is your accounting. This is what you're going to need to export to your accounting software to track your transactions and orders. Under that, you've got subscription. So if you have subscription products, meaning someone pays month after month or year after year for that thing, you're going to be able to manage your subscriptions within the subscription section here. Then you've got group orders. So groups are groups of people, like generally organizations or companies, who want their staff members or their team members to enroll as a group in your courses. So that's what group orders are here for. Then you've got invoices underneath that. So if you don't have an invoicing software and you want to be able to invoice a company or an organization, let's say, for a certain number of seats in your program, you can use their invoicing option here. Then you've got payouts under that. So payouts are what Thinkific is paying you for your courses. So Thinkific takes the payment, charges the tax, takes this tax and submits it on your behalf, and then they take that minus their fees, and that comes to you as a payout. So this is, you can track how much you're making or how much these payouts are as they come to you. Then you've got revenue partners. Revenue partners, think of these like maybe you have other instructors on your site who are selling their courses on your site, but you're taking a cut of that. That's where this is all tracked, is through revenue partners. And then disputes is where someone is, maybe they've put in a refund request or they've disputed the charge. You're going to find all of that under your dispute section here. All right, let's go back to my test site here, and we're going to now go to users and all users. So this is where everyone who's created an account on your Thinkific site will be. Everyone who's enrolled in a course will be here. Everyone who's bought a digital product off your Thinkific site will be here. We will dive into this much more in the episodes, but this is where you're going to find all of your users here. Under groups is where you can set up those groups. So remember I said they're like, generally companies or organizations that are enrolling a number of their staff or team in your courses. That would be a group. Seat management. So this would be if you wanted to allow that organization or that company to kind of manage their own seats. So put people in, take people out. That's all here under seat management. Then you've got certificates. So Thinkific does offer the ability to deploy certificates when someone finishes a course if you want to. And so this is where you set up and manage those certificates. Under notification emails, you've got student emails and notifications and admin emails and notifications. We will be going into this much more in the episodes so that you know how to set it up properly. Student progress allows you to go into any of the courses and view the student progress. When someone signed up, how much they viewed, whether they've completed it, and so on. Discussions. So discussions, think of discussions like forums within each lesson within your course. That is a discussion. This is where you would moderate those discussions if you have that enabled. Assignments. Assignments are another lesson type where maybe someone needs to submit something for feedback or to be graded. That would be an assignment, and this is where you would manage your assignments here. Quiz and survey. So if you use the quiz or the survey option as lessons within Thinkific, this is where you would be able to view those results. And reviews is where you can toggle off and on, whether you want someone to leave a review or a testimonial when they're done your course. You can view your reviews, you can edit them, and so on from here. All right, we'll close users. We'll go into team. This is a relatively new option. So this is where you can add team members to your to have access to your site with different permission levels. And roles is where you set those permission levels. So instead of handing over your username and password to someone, you add them as a team member and change their role. All right, under analytics, there are some basic analytics that you can view in here. I do suggest setting up Google Analytics and linking that to your Thinkific site. I do go into that in the episodes, but this will give you some snapshot of different parts of your site. So, what's your cart checkout ratio to visitors? How engaged are people in your actual courses? Some of those things is what you can see here in analytics. The Learner Hub is Thinkific's version of the student dashboard. This can all be customized. We will be doing that in one of the episodes, but this is where you're going to find your Learner Hub, which is, again, think of it as a student dashboard or a center for the students when they enroll. Under account, you're going to be able to change your own user profile, so you can add your headshot, change your password, things like that. Account management and all of these things in here are really just for you to manage your own Thinkific account from what plan am I on and things like that. So under integrations, Thinkific has a full app store where you can hook in different apps that you might be using with your Thinkific site. So that might be Facebook Metapixel, that might be Google Analytics, that might be Zoom, that might be any a CRM that you use. This is where you can hook all these in and use them in conjunction with your Thinkific site. Under settings, this is what we're going to be doing, the bulk of what we're going to be doing in episode 2, which is setting up the back end of your Thinkific site properly. 90% of the people who come to me who have started to try and set up their site have done these settings wrong. It's important to understand these settings, why you're setting it up a certain way, so that you're not having to troubleshoot down the road. So in episode 2, we're going to set up the full back end of your Thinkific site, and a lot of what we're going to be doing here is under the settings tab. Down here, we've got different plans. So these are different Thinkific plans so that you can see what you're on, what each one contains, etc. And then what's new is at the very bottom. So this is Thinkific's updating you on any new features or product updates. I do suggest that you go into this section at least once a month, click into it and read about that update or that new feature or that change in a feature, because if you're going to use this software, you might as well use it to its full capacity. And that, my friend, is the end of episode 1, where we learned where everything was within your Thinkific site. Now, if you want to make sure that you get episodes 2 through 13 as they're released, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you know someone else who's using Thinkific and you think that this series might be helpful for them, please feel free to hit the share button below and share it out to your colleagues or friends. And if at any point this feels super overwhelming and you just want to be able to hand it off to someone, click on the link below to go through to our website. We do full Thinkific builds. We have Thinkific templates that we can use for landing pages and a lot more. So thank you again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in episode 2.